Take a look at this graph from my Amazon KDP account. At the beginning of my journey on this platform, it was a complete struggle. Sometimes I couldn't even make a single sale in an entire month. But the moment I applied 5 specific strategies, boom! My sales started coming in regularly, and it wasn't just me. I've helped several of my friends who were struggling the same way you might be right now. As soon as they applied these 5 strategies I'm about to share with you in this video, their results completely turned around. The most striking example is a friend I'll call John. In just 1 month, without spending a cent on ads, he made 28 sales. And here's the thread of our conversation on Telegram, where you can clearly see him sharing his results. This was his best month in 3 years on KDP. So if you're struggling to get sales, I invite you to follow this video carefully. Because if you apply these 5 strategies step by step, 1 month from now, it could be your own success story I'll be reading in the comments. Strategy 1. When you're just starting out on Amazon KDP, the biggest trap is investing in all those softwares the so-called gurus on the internet recommend. The problem is, you spend your money, you get no return, and very quickly you start feeling like Amazon is just draining your wallet every month without giving you anything back. The result? Many people give up before even making their very first sale. I decided to take a different approach. To this day, the only tool I use is KDP, and trust me, that's more than enough. With it, I've been able to generate hundreds of sales. I even know authors making over $10,000 a month using nothing but this tool. The big advantage with KDP is that there's no monthly subscription draining your money. You buy it once and you're good to go. If you don't have it yet, I've put the link in the description of this video because in my opinion, it's an essential investment. And if you don't know what it is, KDP is a tool that helps you spot low competition keywords, exactly the kind of keywords that give you a real chance to rank and make sales. In fact, we'll be using it again in strategy number 3, so make sure you stick around until the end. Strategy 2. One of the biggest mistakes I made in the beginning was trying to sell my books only on Amazon.com. The problem is that marketplace is by far the most competitive. But the truth is, there are other markets that are much more accessible, like Amazon France, Amazon Germany, or even Amazon Italy. And here's the truth. Almost every new trend and every new business model first appears in the United States before spreading elsewhere. It's the same with Amazon KDP. New niches are always born on Amazon.com before arriving in other marketplaces. So my method is simple. I analyze what's blowing up in the US, and then I apply it directly in Europe on less saturated marketplaces. The result? I was able to position myself among the first, and that's what allowed me to generate sales much faster. And if you're thinking, yeah, but I don't speak German, Italian, or even French fluently, that's not a problem. You don't need to master these languages. You can have your content translated or even use tools like ChatGPT to easily adapt your book. So no more excuses. These markets are much more open, and if you take advantage of them now, you can gain a real head start. Strategy 3. I'm sure you've already heard about this strategy on YouTube or social media, but believe me, this is a method you absolutely need to apply. The principle is simple. You don't publish a book just to publish a book. You publish it to make sales. And to sell, you need to target low competition keywords. If you choose highly competitive keywords and don't have an audience to promote your book, you'll struggle to even appear on Amazon. That's where KDP comes in. This tool helps you identify low competition, profitable keywords, places where you actually have a chance to sell. For example, if I type health remedy books on Amazon KDP, I see there are over 90,000 results. Then, using KDP, I discover that this niche generates $128,000 per month. Popularity and potential are high, but competition is red. This keyword is extremely saturated. If you create a book in this niche, it will be very hard to make even a single sale because the market is already dominated by established experts. So, what do? We go into the sub-niches. For example, by trying a longer keyword like natural remedy herb or plant book, the results drop from 90,000 to only 167. Then, checking with KDSPY, we see that the competition is green and the potential is also green. In other words, compared to the first keyword, your chances of making sales are much higher. Strategy 4. Imagine this. You're in a supermarket. In front of you are 2 boxes of cereal, same flavor, same price. Which one do you pick? The one with the design that catches your eye, colorful, appealing, and makes you want to grab it. The same principle applies to your book on Amazon. You can have the most amazing content in the world, but if your cover doesn't grab attention, nobody will click on it. That's why your book cover is critical. It's your first tool to convince a reader to click, read the description, and ultimately buy. So, how do you create a great cover? I personally use Canva. It's simple, fast, and effective. If you have more experience, you can go as far as Photoshop. And if you have no design experience at all, don't worry. You can hire freelancers on Fiverr. For as little as $5, you can get a professional, eye-catching cover for your book. I've put the link in the video description to make it easy for you. Here's another tip I love. Look at your competition. For example, I check the covers of books on Amazon.com, and when I create my book on Amazon.fr, I get inspired by the designs that work. Even in completely different niches, you can study what grabs attention and adapt it smartly for your own book. Strategy 5. Imagine walking into a giant bookstore with thousands of titles stacked on every shelf. You know your book is good, but if it's hidden in the back corner, no one will ever notice it. That's exactly what happens on Amazon. Even if your book is amazing, without visibility, it simply gets lost in the crowd. That's where Amazon ads come in. Think of them as the bright spotlight that puts your book right in front of the right readers. Instead of waiting and hoping for people to stumble upon your book, Amazon ads allow you to actively place it at the top of search results or on the pages of similar books. This instantly boosts your chances of getting clicks and sales. Now, here's the key. You don't need a massive budget to get started. Even a small daily spend of $5 can make a huge difference. The trick is to target smart keywords, the kind of words readers actually type into the search bar. For example, if you wrote a journal about self-care, instead of just targeting journal, you can target gratitude journal for women or self-care journal for stress relief. These long-tail keywords cost less and bring in more qualified buyers. Imagine a reader checking out a best-selling journal, and right below, they see yours as a suggested option. That's how you steal attention and potential sales. Now you see it. Succeeding with Amazon KDP is not about luck, it's about strategy. Too many beginners publish books without a plan and quit when sales don't come. But with the right methods, from choosing the right tools, exploring less competitive marketplaces, finding smart keywords, designing covers that attract clicks, and finally using Amazon ads to boost visibility, you can give yourself a real advantage.